Samantha.
Hi, hello everyone. Thank you for watching Unique Dream Fighter Motivation Inspirational Wednesday. Sharing is loving. Today we have Michelle Long with us to share her story, her strength. So before we enter into her story and her takeaway, we will have to emphasize again this session is to motivate all of you who have a dream, and life is full of ups and downs, and you're never alone, you never will be alone. So the story is to light up our community, our heart every day. Stay positive, stay authentic, and stay hopeful. So, and other thing I really want to remind all of you, including myself, our thought is everything, is our God. So beware, we have to focus on solution. And when it comes to your mind, your words has to be positive. This is how you manifest your dream. So let's start. Are you ready, Michelle?
I'm ready, yes.
Yeah, I will just give a very, very brief introduction of Michelle, and then she will tell you how she describes herself. So Michelle has been skating for 25 years, and she is now a choreographer and been coaching in Canada for a very, very long time. She is also a certified personal training specialist and teaches group fitness class and skater of all age and ability. Michelle is very involved in her skating community and loves to perform in ice show and teach at seminar. Hello, Michelle. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah,
This
we're
is exciting.
so lucky, and we have got a lots of connection in common. So this make it more interesting, more warm, and I would like you to introduce yourself and or describe yourself in your version.
Okay, well, thank you again for having me. I'm excited to chat today. I have been skating for, like you said, over 25 years. And so for me, that means a lot of experiences. And I don't want to, go into too much detail with those stories because we could be here for hours. But I do love the message of staying positive, focusing on our mindset, overcoming obstacles. And that's very much in line with my story as a skater. When I was a young girl, I loved being on the ice. I loved skating. I loved performing. I did all of our local ice shows. I was more of a recreational skater. I still did competitions, but more small level within the province. And it was at the age of 18 that I made the decision that I really wanted to pursue my passion of figure skating and follow my dream to compete at a national level. So as an 18-year-old, I was doing my doubles, but that was it. And to be a national level skater in most countries, especially in Canada, you have to be doing triples. So I made it a goal of mine to start really training hard to acquire those jumps to help me move up to the next level. And I, at the time, was a really big fan of skating. I knew all of the skaters in the area. I knew all of the skaters around the world. I had watched many international competitions. My parents were really supportive. And I really knew what it took to get to a top level, but I just didn't necessarily have the skills. I didn't have the team around me. I didn't have the financial support. So it definitely was a challenging transition for me. I moved to a competitive training center where I was on the ice for about 3 hours a day. I had new fitness programming. I had new choreographers. It was definitely an expensive endeavor, which we all know figure skating is a very expensive sport. So because I was out of high school, I also found myself working to be able to afford to pay for skating. And my parents were super supportive, which was really helpful. But as an adult, I did need some independence where I was able to help contribute to my sport and my dreams. And so for 4 years, I was working as a coach. And I was also working as a bartender server at a restaurant. So I was working late nights, early mornings, evenings, weekends, all the times I wasn't on the ice. Actually, and at the same time too, I was trying to be a university student. So you can imagine juggling all these balls at the same time. I really wanted to be this awesome skater and follow my dream, but I had a lot of roadblocks. And pushing through those, what really helped me is remembering my love for the sport and what my goals were and why I was doing it. So, working at a restaurant until 2 a.m, having to wake up early, to go back to another restaurant job or to go back on the ice. I, definitely had times where it no longer became fun, but knowing what the end goal was, and I really, really am determined and stubborn, and I wanted to achieve that goal of competing at a national championships. So for long, hard years of work, I remember very clearly we were at the challenge event. So anyone in Canada would know that challenge event is our national qualifying, where they only take the top 18 skaters of each level. I was already a senior skater. I had never made it to nationals as a junior, novice, pre-novice. And it was in my heart, my final shot at really making it. I had many disappointing seasons year before, and I wasn't sure if I was going to continue. And I remember sitting in the challenge, kiss and cry booth, and I had a really good short program. I was 7th after the short program. And I knew that just staying calm, cool, and collected was going to be my trick to qualifying. I didn't have to do anything spectacular. I didn't have to, land a triple that I've never done before. I just had to go out, do my double axels. I had a couple triple sows and a triple loop in the program, and really just focused on the elements that I had in my control. And I think this is probably one of my favorite moments of skating in my career. But I remember sitting in the kiss and cry with my coaches, and I knew I had skated pretty well, but I had also made some mistakes. And when the announcer came on and said that I was still in first place, I knew that I had made it to nationals for the first time. I was 22 years old. This is December 2014. So it had been a long 4 years leading up to that point. And at that moment, I felt like I had won the Olympics. And I was in 7th place. And this is at a qualifying event. But for me, the goal was never really about winning. It was never about acquiring a national title. It was never, going to the Olympics. What drove me through all those challenging times was really my love for the sport and how much I enjoyed the process. I enjoyed working. I enjoyed learning. I enjoyed growing. I enjoyed the interactions I was making with my coaches, with the team, with all the younger skaters at the arena. And that really drove my enjoyment and kept me involved in the sport after being disappointed and let down multiple times. And I think that in my story being a little bit different than everybody else, not starting a competitive journey until I was 18, not landing a double axel until I was 18 as well, and then competing at my first national championships at the age of 22. I think that in itself sends a message to so many different skaters out there that you don't have to be a 14-year-old doing triples. You don't have to be on the junior Grand Prix circuit. You don't have to win a national title to be a success story in skating. And I think that that's a really important message, and something I try to have, spread out as much as I possibly can. So people know that there are other options in sport, and whatever your path, as long as you're excited about it and you're able to overcome those challenges, that's really what matters at the end of the day.
Wow. The last 3 minutes, I keep having goosebumps. I'm so sorry. It is, wow, really wow. For, it's over 95% of skater not national levels, So, and you prove, even though you have got financial limitation and you still make it, and this is strength. It's funny enough, I wrote this script before I meet you. I don't know why I added strength. So your strength is how much you want to get your goal.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
And do you still recall your feelings when you have to juggle between going to school as a university student and you still have to go to a restaurant as a bartender, waitress for a couple of restaurants and go back to training? And I think, plus, like you said, you are not a 14-year-old girl landing all the triples. Yeah. How you feel while all these things thrown at you, and you still want to get that your dream come true. You still remember?
Oh, I still remember. I still often find myself busying my schedule and trying to fill every nook and cranny of the day just to feel like I'm accomplishing things. And when you're young, I'm not quite as young as I was back then, but when you're young, you have a little bit of youthfulness and you're a little bit more naive to know, the harsh realities of the world as an adult growing up. And I think it was just the simple mentality of just keep going and just keep working, and you're so close, you can almost taste it, like you're almost at the finish line. And through those late nights and early mornings, I was able to push through. And because of that simple mindset that I can do this, and it was really coming down to positive self-talk and allowing myself to relax and enjoy the process. I'll be honest, there were many times where I was physically and mentally exhausted that I did not want to train. I had a really supportive coaching team, and my love of sport and figure skating specifically really stems from the artistic side of the sport. So in moments where my body might not be physically awake or physically ready to do those harder jumps, my coaching team really helped me develop the skills in skating and transitions and performance. And so we had a really good balance so that I never lost the love of the sport, because I think had I been in a different training environment and going through all those other situations, working, going to school, those stressful situations make it very hard to focus on the technical aspect of the sport. But my team was really phenomenal in allowing me to focus and develop the other areas of skating that I loved so much. And that was something that also made my journey a little bit different. Yes, it probably took longer because I had to work and I wasn't spending necessarily as much technical time, but it made it that much more enjoyable for me.
Well, you just talk about self-talk. This is very, very interesting. There's few people doing self-talk. My son self-talk all the time. But how does it work? Do you mind share a little bit? How does it work? Every time you feel tired or you don't want to train or you feel overwhelmed, how are you going to talk yourself out? Are you still talking to yourself?
Always, always. Self-talk is a funny thing. Self-talk can come in two ways. It can be positive self-talk, but it can also be negative self-talk.
Mm.
So I acknowledge that it can come in both ways. And negative self-talk really is something that, it happens and it's okay, but it's how we transform that. Like you were talking about overcoming those challenges, and using positive self-talk is a really great way to build confidence, to build strength from within, to really look inside and see what you want out of a situation, what your goals are, and to remind yourself of the process, the steps that you've made to overcome the obstacles. Before a competition, I'll often lean my back up against the wall just to feel grounded. I'll put my hand on my belly so I can feel my breath and close my eyes. It looks silly if I do it now, but taking a deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth, and I can do this. I am confident. I have trained for this moment. I feel ready. I feel calm. I feel calm, cool, and collected. That was something that I often said to myself because I'm very emotional as a person. I'm very easily excited. I'm very easy to cry. If anyone's ever watched any of my skating videos in the past, I often cry at the end of my program because it's such an emotional release. But taking that moment to talk to myself, to remind myself, I am calm. I am confident. I know what I'm capable of. I can do this. I've trained this. I've worked hard for this moment. Saying those things to yourself really allow for not just your brain, but your whole body to remember the good things that you've done to get to the place that you want to go. And I think it's really important. It's a skill I didn't actually learn until I was, again, in my 20s. And I hope that more skaters are able to learn about it and use that in their training and help make their skating more enjoyable.
Beautiful, beautiful, really beautiful. And I realized lots of skater. I was a coach before in Hong Kong as well. But we are more recreational style. But you can see skater can get very, very nervous, very, very stressful. Yeah, but if we can transform that mentality in a very, very moment that just to enjoy it, just to be present with your body. Oh my God, make a huge difference. Such a very, very wise girl. Oh my God, this is huge. This is huge. I'm not kidding you. It's huge. Be able to stay calm and peace while important moment.
Yeah, definitely. And it's not easy, and it's something that does take a level of maturity and confidence in knowing your body and knowing your brain and being able to have those conversations. But especially through coaching, I've noticed that a lot of younger skaters, just like you had said, they do have a hard time staying calm in those moments. And it's easy to get frustrated when things aren't working. The hard work is thinking about why it's not working and working to overcome that. And self-talk's a really great trick to help with that.
Well, and Michelle just said, focus on positive words. It's important to realize your feeling, because if you're not realize, you're not aware of your mind is going positive or negative, it's very hard to fix that. So therefore, I quite emphasize to pay attention to our feelings. And after this experience, and you've been fighting for so long to get your dream, what do you want to change for the
Oh,
future?
so when I finished my first national championships, like I said, I was 22 and I placed seventh, which was an outstanding accomplishment in itself just to qualify for that event. I came lucky number seven. Seven's my favorite number, and I had qualified in seventh as well. So it was like all the stars had aligned, and I felt so excited and ready. And I mean, in that moment, there's a couple decisions. Do you continue on or do you stop because you've accomplished the goal? And I think this ties back into the positive thinking as well. And like I said, I am stubborn, I am motivated, and I ran off the ice so excited right into the media line. They have a lineup of reporters, and I said, I'm going to do this again next year. And I just announced it to everyone, and I was so excited. And that meant another year of hard work, another year of pushing through obstacles. I was still working, I was still going to school. And my goal the next year was to qualify for the national team, placing top 5. And I was elated that I was able to actually accomplish that goal as well. So going from not even a national level skater 2 years later to being on the national team, that was in the 2016 and 17 season, where Patrick Chan and Tessa Virtue and Scott Moyer came back to the Canadian national team to lead up to the 2018 Olympics. So that was a huge accomplishment for myself, but it was also so inspiring to see these other athletes who were literally the best in the world at their craft, and to come through the skating ranks watching them as a young athlete and then literally standing beside them as a member of the team was incredibly motivating, and it made all the challenges even more worth it. So flashing forwards 2018, I was an Olympic alternate and competing internationally, and having those experiences, I think, helped shape me as an athlete and as a person today. And I think that that's also really important, that, you don't have to be a figure skater to learn positive self-talk or to have goals. I think that that's something that anybody across the world is gonna have these challenges and need to overcome those obstacles and learn the skills that it really takes to actually be able to face those and come out on top and in a better position than when you started. So I think the bigger message here too is not just in sport, but in life, but how are you approaching things, and how are you really, carving your path to overcome those obstacles. And I'm so grateful that I was able to accomplish everything I set out to. And yeah, so thrilled. I just competed at the last national championships too, and in January of 2022, and placed fourth. And the goal was, okay, podium, we're going to skate as best as we can, but I literally skated the best that I could, and absolutely thrilled with all of the outcomes that I've had in my skating career so far.
Everybody got to learn the skills as well. Well, whatever you do, if you're artist, if you're, when you have a dream to catch, you got to have that mindset. Make life so much easier, right? Make it so much more beautiful, enjoyable. Yeah, exactly. And it's so important. And it's always we said mindset, right? Like recently I was thinking, like, mindset is not complete, it's actually heart set. It's like, really, you got to somehow, let your heart be open and allowing things happen, and combine with your action plans. When your heart open, your mind can, kind of merge together. So, well, mindset and heart set. All right, so what is your call?
Yeah, my call. So in all of my experiences in skating, I have fallen even more in love with the sport than when I was a young child, running around getting pictures and autographs. And what I have shifted more to is focusing on mental training,
Mhm.
fitness, movement, all of those things that are really important aspects to figure skating, but are not necessarily on the ice with a coach. I love coaching. I love choreography. We've had this conversation. I've actually worked with skaters in Hong Kong through Zoom doing their choreography, and that's something that I absolutely love doing. But my call is really working on this holistic off ice approach to training for sport. And because figure skating, there is this huge mental component. You are on the ice up to 4 minutes by yourself running a program in competition. There's a lot of things that can happen up there. So I'm actually going to be starting in the fall a master's program in sports psychology where I'll be doing research, and then hopefully at the end of that I'll become a mental performance consultant. And my goal is to work with athletes, mostly in figure skating, but also I'm open to working with other athletes, and then really also focusing on that fitness training, because strength is so important in our sport. It prevents injuries. It allows for so many more things to be accomplished on the ice in such a short period of time. And that wasn't something I was introduced to at a younger age. And I really wish I had that opportunity. So I am teaching fitness classes. Like I said, skaters of all ages. I've worked with young athletes, 8, 9 years old, all the way up through adults. So in Canada, we've got a nice little bubble of adults within my province. And I was really fortunate enough to be invited to teach at a seminar. And I've got skaters who are, 50, 60, 70 years old who love the sport. And we do fitness classes on Zoom a couple times a week, and it keeps them engaged, keeps them active. And we have a lot of fun doing it too. So can't go wrong with that.
Great. Mental, can you say that again? What is this mental training?
Mental performance, mental
Per-
training, and then
mental
physical fitness
performance.
training.
What is that exactly? Is it very popular in Canada?
I think so.
Oh,
So a lot of buzzwords with just sport and athletes in general is talking about our mental
mhm.
health
Yeah.
and trying to better, the way that we perceive ourselves. We are
Mhm.
more than just the athlete. We are more than just our sport and our result in sport. And I think that combining this mental health aspect with this performance aspect is really important. Like we were talking about, a lot of skaters get nervous, a lot of skaters get stressed, and they're not able to perform the way that they want to, the way that they know that they can in training. So how do you teach the mind? How do you teach the brain to stay calm? How do you teach skills that are really going to be able to transfer to that high stress, high performance situation? And that's something that I really want to get involved with, and helping athletes overcome those obstacles, both on the ice and off the ice as well.
It's such a great news for people to hear. I think it's not very, very popular in Asia. Really not common. Maybe we're not all of us following the professional training path. It's more recreational, but still, this is a great news. And so you provide some kind of service. Our follower can be in touch with you.
Yeah, definitely. Through my Instagram, I post a lot of videos on fitness, and I also teach my classes on Zoom. So it is
Mhm.
open platform to anybody around the world. And I am mostly in North America, but in my classes that I have, we've got people from all across Canada, East Coast to West Coast. We've got people in the
Mhm.
States. So it's a really fun and engaging way to meet new people, to stay involved in the skating community. And for figure skaters at a more competitive or recreational level, I do have workshop classes that pop up every once in a while. So Instagram's the best way to get a hold of me and to follow along to see if there's any classes that you want to try out or jump on. And it's a lot of fun. So definitely recommend it at some point to give it a try.
Michelle is an all-rounded person, figure skating, strength, and mental performance, and also fitness and choreographer. There's lots of talents. Lots of talents. The whole session we have, you're always with this beautiful smile, and your energy is so vibrant. Really, really
Thank
great
you.
to have you. And thank you so much for your sharing today, Michelle. It's just beautiful, and we, even for me, I learned a lot from your story because It's all about how you feel. Make yourself feel good.
Yes, absolutely.
And that is the magic. That is the magic. How do you see adult figure skater?
They're the same. They are the exact same as every figure skater. And I think that everybody has an opportunity as long as there's a passion and a love for the sport and you have goals, you have things that you want to accomplish. I think
Yes.
that that's the most important thing. Young, old, no matter what. I had so many people look the other way when I decided at 18 that I wanted to keep skating. And that's young. And I really want to encourage everyone, if you've never skated before and you want to skate, that's a great accomplishment, right? And at the end of the day, yes, there has to be a level of reality when it comes to making those goals. If you're just starting skating, you can't say that you want the goal to be at the Olympics the next year, because that's a lot of work, a lot of time, and it is unrealistic. But at the end of the day, as long as you are working towards something that you love and you're passionate about, then why not?
Beautiful. And the last point I would like to add on is, even though we have got an action plan, we have got a dream, we still need to get the resources, we still get to know the knowledge, just like Michelle just talked about. You set up your goal, right? But when you know there's a dream you want to catch, you got to know like what is a checkpoint, like what I can do, what is possible to achieve. And those are knowledge is important. Just like Michelle just shared to us, mental performance, right? This is one thing very, very, very important for people make the magic. So this is also knowledge. And I encourage all of you, if you have a dream, start to make action plan, start to make your study of your knowledge, and start to put yourself together and make a first step today. Don't wait too long. Yeah.
I love that. And especially as long as you love what you're doing, why not?
Exactly. Nothing to lose, right?
Exactly.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Michelle. It's lovely, lovely to have you share with us today. And I wish you a beautiful day.
Thank you so much, Samantha. It was great talking. Thank you so much.